Greetings from Coach K in my man cave in Charlotte, North Carolina. As you can see, a lot of things here for Topa that we enjoy the ministry of hanging out. Guys will come over to watch college football games, my Clemson Tigers. They'll watch auto races. Here's some real racing tires from one of the NASCAR vehicles. And just to enjoy the life's journey together. Because it's important, as Paul said in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse number 8, I delighted to give to you not only the good news of the gospel, but to share my life as well. And so this is one of the places that we experience Topa, as I learned when I was in the island nation of Curacao. I'm excited that men from Aruba and men from Bonaire are experiencing what the men in Curacao experienced in 2015. It was my privilege to come there and to be a part of that original men's conference. We talked about the battle for men's souls. And I'm coming back in November of 2019 to talk about battle stations. On the wall behind me, above the attire, is the medals that my father-in-law, we have those in the frame picture. Those are his medals from World War II when he served in the Air Force. And so it's important to be battle ready. It's important to be battle tested. And it's important because my father was in the U.S. Navy. He had to resume his battle stations. And so when the enemy is coming with an attack, we've got to man our battle stations. So we're going to come talk about that in November of 2019 when I return to one of my favorite places in the world, the island nation of Curacao. But again, our friends in Aruba, our friends in Bonaire, you joined us in 2015, and now Hubert has brought to both of your islands this entire mindset of the battle for men's souls. And I just want to share with you briefly today about some of the factors that I have seen in that particular occasion. In fact, I see 4 levels as far as men being involved in the battle for men's souls. Level number 1 is the army of men. That's what we're looking for, enlistment. We're going to discover life together. Ephesians 2:8 says it is by grace we are saved through faith. It is not of ourselves, but the salvation is a gift from God. And so to be in the battle for men's souls requires, first of all, enlistment into the army of men. We begin to discover life together. I would assume that many of you have already enlisted. You've understood God's clear message in His book, and you've had a chance to take advantage of the lessons that God is teaching you thus far. You're at the conference wanting to learn more as you have a chance to continue on the battlefield. Level number 2 for men is engagement. We find that in Ephesians 6:10. Finally, I remind you that your strength must come from the Lord's mighty power within you. We must enlist into His army, but then we must engage in the battle. Now, a lot of men are enlisted, and they will come to church on Sundays, but Monday through Saturday belong to them. They are not following the Lord. They are not at their battle stations, having a chance to engage in the battle. And therefore, the evil one who wants to come to steal, kill, and to destroy, he wants to keep them from engaging. So I hope that you already plugged in and having a chance to experience a band of brothers where you begin to discuss life together. You don't just read His Word, but then you begin to discuss it. And you begin to find out these principles of life that you can apply to your home, to your workplace, and to your own walk with God. There's level 3 in the battle for men's souls. Level 1 is enlistment. Level 2 is engagement. And level 3 is encouragement. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 reminds us to speak encouraging words to another, to build each other up and provide hope. So we'll be together in this, that no man will be left behind. So after enlistment and then engagement, we find encouragement. I have longed to be an encouragement to people. I have a luncheon tour that's called the Barnabas Luncheon Tour. And we enjoyed experiencing that when we came to Curacao. Jimmy had a chance to go with me and spend some time. And we had a chance to break bread together. Several other brothers joined us as well. And so it's just a great time to experience, yes, the fact that He gives us our daily bread for our physical sustenance, but we also taste and see that He is good. And we pass along those particular encouraging words to others. So that's the third level in the battle for men's souls. There's an army of men. They're involved in enlistment. There's a band of brothers, and they're involved in engagement. And then there's those foxhole friends. I'm going to talk about that more in detail when I come to Curacao in November of 2019, because if you're going to be at your battle stations, you better make sure you've got some foxhole friends. Who has your back? Who's in your foxhole? We'll talk about that more when I arrive. And then level 4 in the battle for men's souls involves officer training, and that includes empowerment, where we're involved in discipling others together. 2 Timothy 2:2. You have heard me teach things that have been confirmed by many reliable witnesses. Now teach these truths to trustworthy men who will be able to pass along to others. Hubert Raffaella obviously is a tremendous leader of men. I've enjoyed having a chance to mentor him, and I've just been thrilled with how God is working in Hubert and through Hubert. And he is living out this whole passage in 2 Timothy 2:2. And so empowerment, where we begin to disciple others together. You see, when we're enlisting, we're discovering life. When we're involved in engagement, we are discussing life. And then when we're involved in encouragement, we're beginning to do life together. Topa would be a way for us to do life together. Yes, Bible studies are good, but also share our lives. The living word as well as the written word. And so when we get to officer training, empowerment involves discipling others together. It's no longer about us. Our growth, our maturity levels should be at the position where then we go seek after others who can come. And maybe they need to experience Topa first before they come to the study or to the conference. Sometimes they will go to the conference, and what should be happening after that? Well, if they're not spiritually mature, let's experience some Topa and have them enjoy a life with us. Let them see us as a regular Joe and not a holy Joe. And so we want to encourage people and then be empowered to go out and to disciple them as we move forward. You know, there's also a principle I would share with you today. We talk about the battle for men's souls, but what are two essential qualities in a man's life? Those are found in Proverbs chapter 1, verses 1 through 7, and specifically verse 5, where the scripture says to teach a wise man and he will increase in learning. I have found Hubert Raffaella to be such a wise man because he has these two qualities, a humble spirit and a teachable spirit. When God sees us reflecting humility and we reflect teachability, much like Hubert, when I began to have discussions with Hubert 5 or 6 years ago, I could tell he was absorbing everything that he could. He was reading good books that are available for discipleship leaders. And so as he was going through the ultimate book and reading good books, he was showing himself to be teachable. He was learning about concepts that would make him a more effective leader of men. So, Proverbs 1:5, teach a wise man and he will increase in learning. You're at the conference, you're exhibiting what it means to be a faithful man, but also a humble man and a teachable man. I'm just excited to be able to come back to Curacao. It's one of my favorite places in all the world. I've been to 42 states in America, and I've been to 7 foreign countries. I long for God to ignite the fire in men's lives. And then we want to come alongside and teach you how to rekindle the flame. It is on God's watch to ignite the fire, but it's on our watch to learn how to rekindle the flame. And then finally, in closing, my life's verse, Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Let's find ourselves delighting in him, then also desiring to live for him. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless each of you. May his hand of favor rest upon you. May he give you a rock to stand on, a brook to drink from, and a tree to be shaded by. I pray for those three things in your life. Ever onward in the battle for men's souls.